Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. The Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to a movie film special episode. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, Brian, there's a brand new Star Wars trailer out.
Oh, I thought we were going to set up a whole, there was a big thing that happened and make like a Super Bowl, and I was going to make a Justin Timberlake halftime joke.
Oh.
Yes, there's a Han Solo trailer out now.
Well, now I want to hear your Justin Timberlake halftime joke.
No, it wasn't even a joke. I was just going to pretend like that's what we were here to talk about.
There's been a lot of ill will directed towards Justin Timberlake's way. J-Timber, as I call him.
We were not planning about talking about this at all, but I did have this sort of thought, and I talked about this at work and with my friends at the Super Bowl party. We were saying, back in the day, it would be like Michael Jackson was doing the halftime show or something like that, or Paul McCartney, and you would wait to see what the world thought tomorrow when you read the paper, right? But now I got an alert 10 minutes after he was done on my watch that was like, people did not like that. And I was like, well, that was fast. You know what I mean? And then the game's not even over, and then before the game's over, I even forgot that that people had feelings about it at all. Just things move so much more quickly these days. And
that's true.
I don't know. I was having a 21st century moment with it last night.
Well, life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
All right, so it was the bowl game yesterday, and as is my tradition, I did not watch the game.
Oh yeah, I was thinking last night. I don't remember the last time I haven't watched it, ever since I was a kid. And I watch football in and out. Sometimes I think about it. Sometimes I'll go an entire season, not watch one game. Some seasons I'll completely pay attention. But I always watch the Super Bowl.
Really?
So it's always been a thing, yeah.
Wow, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know if you know this about me, Brian, but believe it or not, I'm not a sports guy.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in between. I mean, growing up in Chicago, it was hard not to at least have one, your finger on the pulse of what was going on.
Sure.
I mean, you'd agree with that, right?
Yes.
But ever since moving to Los Angeles, it's the teams that I care about I don't get to hear about as easily. And so, yeah, I just kind of fell out of it a little bit.
That's understandable. Yeah, I mean, definitely being a Chicagoan during the Bulls is...
oh, yeah. The 90s run.
The 90s run. That was the time for it,
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So, but anywho, why are we talking sports? This is the Movie Film Podcast.
This has become just a phone call between you and I on our drive home.
This is movie film, not sporty ball.
Sporty ball. That would be a good podcast.
That would be like the spin-off hosted by Not Us.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, or one expert and one person who doesn't follow sports, but they have to talk about a game that they watch together. And it's like Sporty Ball.
There you go. But there were a whole host of new movie trailers that dropped yesterday. So obviously we'll get to the first trailer for Solo: A Star Wars Story in just a second. But we got our first look at Mission Impossible: Fallout.
Yeah. I've just over the years since 3 really grown to love these movies.
Me too, man.
Yeah, they've just become very dependable and surprising. I think because they feature stunts that seem real-world spectacular, so they seem more thrilling for it.
Yes.
And so with this one, I was really excited when the trailer came on, and this is... I don't even really know what's coming out this summer, but I know I'm going to see Mission Impossible 6.
Yeah, it's it's good to see the gang back together, and there's the sense of okay, I know what I'm going to expect from this.
Mm-hmm.
I expect I will enjoy it, and that's enough. It was interesting to see the first pictures of Henry Cavill sporting that mustache, the mustache that destroyed the Justice League.
Yeah, right. You posted something about it, right? The $25 million mustache.
That mustache is a bigger villain than Doomsday.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You gotta love the inter-studio dickishness of Warner Brothers going to Paramount, being like, "Hey, would you mind if he shaves a mustache?" And they're like, "No."
Right.
Like,
right.
And you have to imagine they were like, "Wait, really?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no. I mean, especially when you think about the fact that we're talking about an industry where makeup artists and things like that have obviously, blazed all kinds of new trails. But more than anything, Mission Impossible is a movie about people wearing fake mustaches.
Right.
That's what they do.
Yeah. That's pretty good, yeah.
But we also got a new look at Jurassic World, and I know you were kind of you were kind of meh. You were mehing on.
Yeah. Wait. Actually, I'm sorry. Wait. What did you think about Mission Impossible 6?
You know what? I've enjoyed, as you said, I've enjoyed all of them since the third one. I have my issues with the first two. But 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and 5, yeah, are about as rock solid an action movie trilogy as I can think of. And Christopher McQuarrie coming back for this one makes me very happy because he did do such a good job on the last one.
Same. And it's interesting seeing the team grow. They keep, of course, you have Ving Rhames from the original from the first one. But then you have, Simon Pegg getting collected along the way, and now you have Rebecca Ferguson coming back, and it just seems like they keep picking up these people that they like.
Yeah, and Michelle Monaghan is back in this one also. I don't know.
Right, from the third one.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I really like those movies, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm glad you liked it too.
Thumbs up so far. Thumbs up for the trailer. I mean, there's still time to come down to earth.
Wait, by the way, did you see that footage that Tom Cruise brought to the Graham Norton show of his ankle?
Yes. Oh my God. I think my ankle broke while watching that.
When they were queuing it up, I was like, oh, they're legit going to show this. Do I want to watch?
Right.
And I was like, well, I don't know. They're going to show it on like a talk show. It couldn't be that horrifying. But yeah, it's pretty. You see it bend back. It's pretty nasty.
It was one of those things where as I was watching it, I just my foot just went, and I was like,
right.
Oh, it was like sympathy breakage.
Right.
Yeah. But Jurassic World, what'd you think?
Jurassic World.
Did this new one move the needle for you?
It really did, actually. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to sum into words what the first one made me feel. It just felt sort of. Everything felt sort of expected.
Okay.
It felt like I was watching, outtakes from the first movie just sort of stitched together or something. Which makes no sense because that's not accurate at all. I'm just saying the feel. Like, it's just like, yeah, I felt this movie already, and I don't know that anything made me feel like I needed to come back for it, even though I knew I would.
Sure.
But this one, yeah, it seemed like it had a new voice to it.
Yes.
Didn't it? Like, I mean, the visuals were really, really beautiful and felt fresh. Just the way that the backdrop for the dinosaurs, and it looked really exciting. This one felt very, very different to me than the first one. And maybe I think the first one they were just trying to be like, remember this gang? Because like we were saying, Chris Pratt felt a little more Chris Pratt-y in it.
Right.
And this one just felt like, wow, that looks like an adventure movie I'm sure I'll have a good time at.
It's funny, my kid, he watches this new one, and he's just like, oh, so this one is The Lost World.
That's great, yeah.
And I don't think, and he's young enough where he doesn't view the Lost World cynically, but he's just like, oh, this is where they're like in civilization now, the at least from what we see in that trailer.
Right, yeah. Some of it looked kind of like a monster movie.
Yes.
In a good way.
Yes.
It just, I mean, if you keep making these movies, how many times can you have people running from them on the planes, right? Like, I don't mind them going in the house.
Mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like you kind of have to.
Yeah. And by the way, it's these movies are really aimed at our inner child. I always say that.
Oh, totally.
Actually, related to Jurassic Park, I'm going to be going to the Silicon Valley Comic-Con in a few months, and I just got a notification today that none other than Jeff Goldblum will be there signing autographs and taking pictures. And so, of course, I had to purchase that just so my kids could meet Ian Malcolm.
Oh, for sure. They're going to get such a kick out of that.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, he's from all accounts, he's just delightful.
Yeah, I actually saw him in concert. He does jazz concerts in Los Angeles every Wednesday at the Rockwell.
Oh, no kidding.
Which, for people in the area, highly recommend it. It is super easy to get in. He is a delight. I mean, he plays great jazz music with his, I don't know, what is it, a quartet or whatever. And he interacts with the crowd. You can mingle with him afterwards. He's very friendly. And so it's kind of cool knowing that he's a cool guy. And so that's why it makes me smile so much, knowing that he's going to be really cool with your kids and your kids are going to love it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And he's in a Jeep commercial too, right? Did you see that?
I know of it. I haven't seen it.
I believe it was for Jeep, and it was kind of fun. He's playing Ian Malcolm getting chased by a dinosaur.
Yes, okay, I did hear about it. Yeah, that's right.
It was fun, yeah.
I will have to seek that out.
Mhm.
Well, okay, enough of the warm-up act, Brian.
Yeah, enough pussyfooting.
So this was interesting because this was a prediction you made. You said, I think that the Solo trailer will debut during the Super Bowl.
Yes. And then I went back on it because I had read somewhere that it was like, no, it'll be during Good Morning America. And I was like, oh. And then, sure enough, I think it was one of the first 3 commercial breaks or something. It was very early in the game. I was like, oh, saw the Lucasfilm logo come up. And
it seems like it surprised a lot of people. And, before we even get to our reactions, it was fascinating at, whatever time, like 2 seconds after it aired on social media, just Solo, like just
oh, really?
Engulfing my social media feed. So the kind of people I tend to associate with, the kind of so-and-sos. But so that was like a 45-second spot, and then that nicely teed us up for the full teaser, which was like a minute 15. Which debuted online and on GMA the next morning. So Disney basically bought themselves all the hype, and then they got to have the story all to themselves today, because there's no other movie trailer people are talking about today.
Yeah, and it's smart too, because then you pay less, right? If it's so expensive, the commercial real estate on Super Bowl, so pay for something a little short and be like, hey, it's coming tomorrow. And the world knows, and then
kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, why don't we play the trailer, and we'll talk about it on the flip side.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I was kicked out of the flight academy for having a mind of my own. I'm gonna be a pilot. Best in the galaxy.
Hey, kid. I'm putting together a crew. You in?
That's yes.
I might be the only person. Who knows what you really are?
What's that?
Get ready.
Thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. We're fine.
So, Brian, over the course of the last, 2-3 months, the question we've been asking again and again is, why are they not showing us anything? Where is the footage? Where is the production still? We got nothing from this movie that would be construed as official. And so, really, our first look at Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo is in this trailer.
Mm-hmm. And his voice, I mean,
yes.
Everything is, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. First of all, what do you think of that strategy? Completely separate from what we've seen thus far. Was that a sound strategy, you think?
I mean, sound, I don't know, but did it work out fine? I think so. Because, I mean, you don't want to distract from Last Jedi. That's tricky because this movie's coming out so shortly after versus, say, this Christmas or something.
Right.
And so, yeah, I know. I think in the build-up, it can, in the way that the internet can get worked up, it can sort of be like, what do you have to hide?
That's right.
Kind of a thing, which, who knows, maybe they did. Maybe some visual effects shots weren't finished because, Ron Howard joined the game so late and whatever's in that trailer. I don't know if any of that's from the Lord and Miller or if this is all Howard. Who knows?
That's a good point.
To me, I mean, this is the Super Bowl is like the first major event of the new year. It kind of makes sense to me. Right? I mean, it's such a big movie and such an anticipated one. I can see why people would question it. But when all is said and done, and now it's only February. It's not coming out till May. Now we've got a trailer. I don't know. It seems fine to me.
Yeah. That was the thing, because certainly one would assume that the time to debut it was in front of The Last Jedi.
Right. Good point, actually.
But I mean, it's almost in hindsight with all the sort of. We almost needed some time for the conversation about Last Jedi to settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, give it its own. Let that do the thing and come down from it, and then give this movie its own breathing space. And yeah,
now,
I think it maybe was amplified because of rumors, right?
Yes,
some things that had begun swirling, and so.
Do you think that Disney anticipated how polarizing the conversation would be about The Last Jedi?
That is a very good question. I really don't know, because they wow, you just made me think two things. One, before it happened, they announced Rian Johnson getting his own trilogy.
Yes.
So you're like, that's almost saying like, yeah, you're going to love this.
Yeah, exactly.
Mic drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the other hand, that could be sort of like them saying, trust us. Like, we know this is going to be a little divisive because, we've seen it. We kind of anticipate what people are going to say. But hey, before you go in, know that this is what we think of this guy.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It totally does.
So who knows what the actual conversation was, but wow. I doubt that they thought it would be as divisive as it was on social media.
Yeah, I mean, who could have anticipated? Well,
yeah, right. Well, the first one seemed to go so well.
The first one, it's really interesting because I think you really, in hindsight, see all the ways that they tried to play the first one as safe as absolutely possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Given how sort of far off the rails this one went.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I was going to bed last night, I just turned on the television and it was on. Force Awakens was on Stars. And I watched the first 30 minutes. And I was like, the first 30 minutes of that movie are so perfect.
Yeah.
Just in terms of editing and pacing and moving from one thing to another. And it really does feel, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it feels very at home, very safe.
Very familiar.
As a Star Wars movie. Very familiar. And it, especially now with Last Jedi. But I like I said, Last Jedi's grown on me in ways, but Force Awakens just was super, super familiar. And I think it worked in all the right ways for seemingly everybody, right?
Yeah.
But at some point you do have to, try to veer off a little bit and carve your own path. And
Brian, I mean, that's where this movie comes in. So I think I said this earlier on our regular show that the aftermath of The Last Jedi to me drives home the efficacy of doing a movie like this solo.
Yeah.
Where it's even more so than these saga movies that are carrying the story forward. This is about, hey, that era that you love doesn't have to be gone. We can go back to it whenever we want.
Sure.
So, with that in mind, what are you thinking, man? What was your impression of this?
All right, so I'm the type of guy, I've said this, I think, whenever there's a huge movie I'm looking forward to, a new album, I'm immediately like, okay. Like the first time I hear it or the first time I watch it, I'm like, I need a minute.
Right.
And I either come up with my feelings a little afterwards after some thought, or I need to watch it one or two more times or something, or listen to it again.
Right.
And I gotta admit, the first time I saw it, and this could have been partially because I was watching it on a friend's TV and I don't know where her settings were at,
sure,
or whatnot, but it felt a little polished in a way where I was like, if you had told me I just watched a new trailer for a Hunger Games movie, I would have believed you. You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
Nothing about it screamed Star Wars to me necessarily. Yeah. But I wasn't like down on it either. I just didn't know what I thought of it, and I'm in the middle of this game and in a group of people, and I'm like, I need a minute to think.
Right.
But so then watching the trailer this morning and watching it I think I've watched it like 3 times now.
Yeah.
Each time I'm like getting more and more calibrated to what it is.
Right.
Because like we say, I mean, look, the original trilogy especially means a lot to us, and when you show us something new that's supposed to belong to that,
yes,
you're always like, you're trying to fit the puzzle piece. Like, okay, can I make this fit with the thing that I know and that I love, and does this whatever? And I would say the things that they're still a little bit throwing me off that made it a harder fit for me initially.
Yeah,
was the music.
Sure.
And it starts with this like electric guitar, like bow, like over
Right.
Lucasfilm. I was like, what? And then it ends with this Tron sort of sounding, like and I'm like, that's not really Star Wars. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I get it. Like, it can't be the same thing over and over and over. Like, at some point, things have to develop their own voice and whatnot. And I'm certain the movie isn't going to sound like that. I'm sure it's going to sound like what we know and love. And I can't tell if that's me being stuck in the past or if that's my, something to my taste. I don't know. But the music did throw me off a little bit. But when all that's thrown out, at the end of the day, I'm optimistic about it. Like, I realized we didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, we saw Han, we saw Lando, we saw the Falcon, we see Chewie. Like, let's go. Right?
Yeah, and I mean, this movie, even before the movie, this trailer needs to convince people that Han Solo transcends Harrison Ford.
Yes. Yeah, I have a lot of notes, by the way. That wasn't the end of my thoughts.
Oh, okay.
But no, that was my initial impression. Like, realizing that this is the first time, and I feel like I might have said this for Last Jedi, but they're going to keep making these Star Wars things. Like, just going to keep making them, and they can't all feel the same. They're eventually going to have to feel of the same world, but they're going to start feeling different. They have to. And this one felt different to me. And it's either going to make certain people uncomfortable, like you and I know with certain friends, it's making them uncomfortable. And I think you and I also realize the necessity of that in some ways, and we're either on board for it or we're not.
Yeah, it's true.
And I recognize that that's what they're veering towards, and I'm just hoping I can continue to enjoy it.
See, I feel like, we've spent a lot of time talking about with these new saga movies where it's like, well, this is a different thing, and if you don't like it, that's fine. You've got those other movies that you do like. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the intent, to some extent, with both this and Rogue One is to say, but, you old-timers are still welcome in the tent because there's this.
Right.
And yet there seems to be this pushback of, like, how could you possibly think anybody else could play Han Solo?
Sure. I mean, well, that to me is just like, let's be realistic. I mean, like,
yeah,
if we're, of course they're going to make a movie like this, owning what they own and with the slate that they need to fill and whatnot, and someone else is going to have to play him. It's just, did they find the right guy?
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it.
So what do you think?
Hard to tell, actually. I mean, right? Like, I don't think we can totally judge. I mean, you can have an initial impression, and his voice is throwing me a little bit. I'll be a little honest, because he doesn't have that sort of deep.
It's not as deep as Harrison Ford in A New Hope.
Yeah, I can't remember that kid's name, but the kid in Twilight, who's not Robert Pattinson.
What's his name? Jacob?
Jacob, or whatever it is.
What's his name? Taylor. Lautner.
Taylor Lautner.
Yes. He sounds like Taylor Lautner. You're saying?
I don't know, man.
Oh,
I get a little
man.
bit of Taylor Lautner, like, I don't know, Bella. Let's fly the Falcon. Everything's cool, right? I was like, ouch. I'm hoping, though, when you dive into the pool, though, it all kind of like becomes of a piece, because he's not Harrison Ford.
I was actually
credit,
thinking about that as I was watching it. I was like, I wonder how much of his process involved, contemplating doing a Harrison Ford impression.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, that would be just as bad.
Yeah, because then you end up with Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing Snowden's voice.
Yeah, right.
Which just sounds ridiculous.
Or Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Looper doing Bruce Willis's voice.
right.
Or Joseph Gordon-Levitt in, I'm seeing a trend.
Yeah. What would you? I mean, he looks fine. I mean, that's the thing. He doesn't look like Harrison Ford, and he doesn't sound like Harrison Ford. So it's got to be the spirit of Han Solo.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Brian. He does not look like Harrison Ford, but I'll be damned if he doesn't look like Han Solo.
I'm warming up to it. I'm not like critical of it, but I'll admit I'm warming up to it.
There's a shot fairly early in the trailer. It might be the very first shot we get of him, where he's driving a thing and he's smiling and he's wearing like a white vest on a blue or black shirt. And I saw that shot and I'm like, holy shit, that's Han Solo.
Yeah. I did like the little quip at the end.
Yes.
Where he's sort of like, I didn't think that was going to work out at all, or whatever it was. Or I
Well,
thought we were in
it's
trouble
very
for a
everything's
second there, but it's
all fine. We're all fine here now. How are you?
Yeah, I was like, I like that. That's Han Solo.
There,
That worked for me totally.
There's a moment in the trailer where Amelia Clarke, who's what's her character's name, by the way?
Khaleesi.
Khaleesi.
I think it's Kira.
Friend of the show, Keira Knightley. Not Keira Knightley.
She's been in Star Wars though, so
She has. That's true. Oh, I should have been in the Han Solo movie. I should have. Quiet, Kira. We have Amelia Clarke, of course, friend of the show, Amelia Clarke. So she plays Kira with a Q.
Mm-hmm.
And she says something like, "I know who you really are," something like that. And we get like the Han Solo smirk, followed immediately by like this moment of like, wait, you do really? Like this vulnerability.
Right.
And that's what has me so intrigued. Like this is Han Solo when the cement is wet.
Sure.
If we think, because here's what's so interesting, right? When we meet Han in Star Wars, in A New Hope, he's lived a whole life. He's not like Luke.
Right.
There's no Luke Skywalker prequel you could do.
Right.
Well, I mean, you could. It would just be a very boring prequel.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas Han Solo has had his own trilogy, if you will, before he's joined the Skywalker saga.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like the idea of this is filling in these gaps. And I was thinking, like, people are getting so upset about it. They're like, we never needed a Han Solo origin until now. And I'm like, well, we don't need any of these movies.
Right.
I mean, big picture, we need oxygen and water. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's an asinine argument. You say, well, would we complain if there was a novel that was like, here's Han Solo's origin? Mm-hmm. No, we wouldn't, right? It would just be like, oh, that's the novel with Han Solo's origin. Mm-hmm. So instead, they're like, no, we're going to make that into a movie. Well, what are we complaining about?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I think part of it too is for us old timers. When at one point we thought those 3 movies were the only movies that were going to ever exist.
Sure.
Those movies were, as fans, all 3 of those movies were necessary.
Yes.
Right? They all belonged together, and that was all we thought we were going to get, and that worked. Right. And I think some people are having a harder time seeing things added now.
Right.
And feeling like they're necessary, and kind of like what you just said, well, they're not. But that doesn't mean they can't be there for our enjoyment.
Right.
You know? Like I think that's the leap for a lot of people who've had Star Wars in their lives for a long time. And it could seem like an unnecessary thing, or now it's just become sort of a product that Disney's rolling out. And, well, it is. But, like, it seems that they're still putting a lot of care and love into it and still trying to make things to make the people that love these things happy.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that. And,
yes.
You know, I love the sights and sounds of the Star Wars universe. And as long as they're going to keep making these things, of course I'm going to go and hope for the best.
And by the way, worth pointing out, John Powell is doing the score. But John Williams is composing the theme, the Han Solo theme.
Isn't that interesting? Because he doesn't have a theme in the other 4 movies he exists in.
Right.
So I'm kind of curious. I mean, that's a lot of almost pressure. Like, the character already is sort of memorialized, and now he's going to add a musical voice to it. I'm like, what is it going to be? How could it possibly live up to anything?
And that's what's so interesting to me, is that Han Solo was a supporting character in Luke Skywalker's story. Mm-hmm. But through the sheer power of Harrison Ford being this, just having this magnetic personality, he came to be just as beloved as the hero of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, when you think about it, it's, Han Solo is Legolas.
Right, yeah, sure.
You know? Well, maybe he's Aragorn.
Yes, right, yeah.
Maybe more like Aragorn, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, kind of the same thing. Like, Aragorn is a supporting character in Frodo's story.
Right.
So it says something about how beloved he is that we're getting this movie, and I'm looking at all the possibilities. I'm like, hey, who's to say we can't get like a Lando spin-off
Sure.
off the strength of this if it's good?
Yeah.
You know?
Who he looks great, by the way.
Oh my gosh. You see him in the poster shot they released where he's wearing kind of, it's like a yellow or whatever it is, but it looks like what he wears in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because in particular, I thought the poster, I was like, wow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Actually, both of them. There's character posters released for all of them, for Kira, Lando, Chewie, and Han. Of note here is that Chewie has 2 bandoliers. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed that in the trailer.
So we know that one of those bandoliers is going to meet with an unhappy fate.
Right.
And then and honestly, the shot that they put out of Alden Ehrenreich as Han on the poster, I look at that and I'm like, that's Han Solo.
Yeah.
You know, he's brandishing the blaster. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm an easy lay for these movies. I really am.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, I'm always Sonny and Brian land guy on this podcast, but like, I just optimistic, high hopes, but these are my thought process. I wanted to share my thought process.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, and that's another thing too. With him as Han Solo, it's sort of like if you had, what's his name? Actually, this isn't a great example, but guy from Jerry Maguire, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Sure.
You're like, he's playing O.J. Simpson, and you flashed a headshot of Cuba Gooding Jr. I'm like, huh? You know what I mean? But like then you watch 10 hours or the whatever, and he kind of becomes O.J. Simpson or something like that. I was like, well, yeah. So that's kind of how I feel about this. Like, well, his voice took a little getting used to, and I don't know, I got a glimpse of him from this because it's a little, it's a short trailer.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling when you dive in and you spend some time with them, it's like, well, of course, like I'm expecting and hoping for it to all click into place.
Yeah. So about 37 seconds in, we see somebody who sure looks like Maz Kanata.
Oh yeah, I haven't really done a freeze frame through this. Is that yeah?
Is she in this? Is Lupita Nyong'o in this? Do we know?
I've got the page up. Let's see her. Well, I had another question, sort of production question for you that I don't know about.
Yes, hit me.
Actually, I don't see her name.
Okay.
But so famously, Lord and Miller were shooting. Well, all right, let's back up. Lawrence Kasdan and his son were writing this screenplay, and then Lord and Miller come on and direct it, and they are fired. And through the grapevine, you sort of hear these things that Kasdan wasn't happy about, or Kasdans weren't happy about their words being changed so much.
Yes.
They're like, no, this is what we wrote. This is what we shoot. Like, what are you guys doing with all this improvisation?
Yeah.
So my question is, now that Ron Howard's on, did they go back to Kasdan's script? Now that, has it evolved even further since that? Like, I wonder what product we're actually getting at the end of the day here. Is this what they set out to do originally? Brought back to that? Or
yeah, I would have to imagine that what we're seeing is a truer evocation of the Kasdan approach to the story.
And I can appreciate people who are fans of Lord Miller lamenting the version that they'll never get to see, but at the same time, I really want to see Lawrence Kasdan's Young Han Solo movie.
It's
being honest.
I was certainly one of those people who was like, "Hey, Lord and Miller sounds interesting," but one of the things that the filmmakers, one of the statements that I think was sort of leaked was that Han Solo is not a comedy character. He's a serious character who uses comedy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And remember that?
Yeah.
And so to me, that statement offered a window into what they were doing.
Yeah.
And that window was enough for me to say, yeah, if they were doing like a Lego movie, wink wink nudge nudge type thing, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's honestly the sort of dog pile that Kathy Kennedy has been getting. I mean, I have to wonder if she was a guy, would she be subjected to the same kind of bombardment?
Yeah, and when you say this now, it's making me appreciate how cool cucumber she always appears.
Right.
For the immense amount of pressure and scrutiny and production on top of all of that, just the productions that she is overseeing right now, the mass amounts, and that's a lot for one person to be undertaking.
It really is.
Yeah, and to have gone through the drama that they've been going through in this amount of time as well, with the Rogue One thing, and then with this one.
Yeah, and then Last Jedi.
Yeah, but these movies keep coming out, and yeah, it's going to have its critics, but for the most part, people seem to be on board with what's going on. So
right.
it's quite an accomplishment.
It is, yeah. So as far as just a random prediction based on what we see here, I feel fairly confident that Emilia Clarke is going to die in this movie.
Yeah, I wondered if... I mean, obviously, you got to get to Leia in his story, so I wondered if her possibly dying or something is going to lead to a little bit more of his hardened heart.
That's exactly. I see her it being very similar to
Bond?
What's that?
James Bond?
That's it. Yeah, exactly. And I'm Eva Green in Casino Royale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not being a traitor. Maybe. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, or not hardened heart, but cynical.
Cynical, right? And that, she's where his cynicism comes from. Yeah, man. You know, I'm just enjoying the moment. I'm like, we're 3 months removed from a Star Wars movie, and we're 3 months away from a Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
and that's basically never going to happen ever again.
Yeah.
So,
and how can you be upset about that?
Oh, people can.
Sure,
they very much can.
Well, I'm delighted.
There you go. So, any last thoughts on the trailer for Solo: A Star Wars Story?
No, I think it just like I said. I mean, it took a few adjustments, but of course, it's going to take adjustments. I mean, this is a character that's been cemented in my brain my entire life, and now they're presenting a new sort of look at it, and I'm thrilled to see it. Like I'm very hopeful for it, and I'm excited for it too. I'm not like dreading it like some people like kind of biting their nails. I'm like, bring it on, man. I hope this is great. I can't wait.
Well, there we go. I think that's a good place to leave this conversation.
Well, that was easy.
It was almost painless. Almost. So we will be back next week with our regular show talking about Black Panther. But it's almost here. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to discussing that one, and of course summer keeps moving further and further back, so we have lots of other big releases that we will be talking about between now and actual summer.
Yep.
So with that, I'm going to wrap things up. If you are enjoying the show that we're putting out, please go to iTunes and leave a review, and if you would like to reach out to us, you can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com and hit like on our Facebook page. So on behalf of my colleague Brian Hall, my name is Zaki Hassan. This has been a special Movie Film Podcast, and we will catch you very soon.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zaki and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.